Welcome to another episode of the Sperduty Fitness Podcast. I'm your host, Brian Sperduty, and I'm here with my co-host, Beth Pastwick. And today we have an awesome guest. But before we jump into that, Beth's going to take us through a few Sperduty Fitness announcements.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to tonight's podcast. And thank you, Al, for joining us. Just some things to go over, some announcements. So SF30, the new month started on January 3rd. This class, the SF30, is a class that is designed for busy individuals ready to get up, get their workout done, and move on with their day. And since it's virtual, you can access this class from home or the gym. It's a great way to build a new habit or for those looking for more accountability. This is also a great class for the more experienced person looking to pump out a workout to their max. Everyone works to their level and ability. You're just going to go to the SperdutyFitness.com website and click on the program that you are looking for, SF30 or one of the other programs, and you enroll. And once you enroll, you'll receive a confirmation email and one of the trainers will contact you. And not only is the Intro to Flexible Dieting seminar included to anyone who enrolls, but you also have access to our weekly Strength and Struggle seminar with myself, which is a new program that we just put together. It's a great way to have a like-minded community. People come together, talk about the things we're going through, the struggles, how we can get through them and turn those struggles into our strengths. Also, another fantastic program that we just launched is the Fit for Life Senior Fitness Program, and that is with Coach Megan. So we know that maintaining a consistent fitness routine is important for all ages. Sperduty Fitness is excited to offer our Fit for Life Senior Fitness Program for adults looking to improve cardiovascular health, increase their strength, work on balance, and improve overall well-being. Classes are designed to be low impact to prevent injury while also increasing muscle strain and energy levels. The best part about this class is that you can take it from the comfort of your own home. No weather or COVID issues. And the classes are going to run Tuesday mornings from 9 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. Those are some great additions.
Yeah, and you'll be able to go to the event calendars that we set up through Facebook, but we're also working on getting a calendar right up on the Sperduty Fitness website so people can just enroll, which I know we've been working on that for a while. So it'll be much easier to just enroll so you're not hitting so many buttons. But on to
technology
today's,
is awesome.
I know, right? On to today's guest. He is a personal trainer, former powerlifter. I mean, are you ever really a former, though? I mean, you're a powerlifter, runner, pro fitness competitor, and a big-time motivator, Al Lewis. Al, welcome to the podcast.
Hello, everyone.
I said I wanted to kick the new year off right, and I'm like, I know who to get.
So I love that you called him a motivator. Like I was like, just even hearing that, like motivator, I'm like, I was already drawn to it, and I was like, a motivator? Yes, yes. Let's get that motivation going.
Right. I still have the T-shirt, Motivation on the Rise. I still have the T-shirt, so I know what's up. And I've known Al for quite a while. He's inspired me, helped me through the years. He's someone I look up to in the fitness industry, so it's really awesome to get him on the podcast. And we talk a lot, but there's a lot I don't know about Al. And I would love, for him to tell his story, talk about how he got into certain things, a little bit about him. So, I mean, let's just jump right into it. Al, growing up, did you play sports or were you into sports? Because now everybody knows you. Wait a minute. I'm sorry. Let me add one more thing. I forgot to add this. Powerlifter, motivator, actor.
Oh,
actor.
Whoa.
We forgot about actor.
I forgot about that one. Oh, you caught me with that one.
Oh, do tell, gentlemen, do tell.
He's on
little
commercials.
Small things, nothing big. I'm not a professional actor, but I did some things.
He's in a bunch of commercials on TV.
Yeah.
But you did this. Yeah, you did the Selena Barnes, right?
Barnes. I did Roswell and oh my God. And a few others. I can't even. Oh my God, I can't even remember. Yep, and also I was in a play. It was like for about 2 weeks, and a streetcar named Desire. I was in that.
Yeah,
Right. Yeah.
that's so cool.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I know, right?
I
That's
forgot
a
all about
well-rounded
that.
gentleman.
He
Yeah.
is. I'm telling you, Mr. Motivation. Al
Yeah.
probably did it. That's my motto. Hey, did you ever? Al probably did it. Al probably did it.
Yeah. Yes.
See, we got so much to get into. But when you were younger, did you play sports? Like, what did you play?
I basically played sports, you know, in my neighborhood, like football and, you know, basketball, and believe it or not, street hockey too. That was
Really?
probably my favorite part. But in the high school, I just got involved in powerlifting. And my biology teacher, Paul Valerio, got me into it. So that's how, and that stemmed from an after-school weightlifting class. So, yep.
So what was that conversation like? Were you already lifting weights in the gym and the biology teacher approached you? Or
I'm gonna tell you something so funny. This is crazy. I was watching Rocky. You remember when Rocky fought the Russian guy, Dolph Lundgren?
Yeah, Drago.
I got so pumped. I was like, I'm gonna be like Rocky. I'm gonna be like Rocky. And I just started lifting weights. I just got so motivated by, you know, the role that Sylvester Stallone played, and I just got into weights and just took off with it, you know. Yeah. So it was fun.
Yeah.
Then I did my first powerlifting competition. Actually, my biology teacher talked me into getting into the powerlifting competition. And actually, my second teenage powerlifting competition, I broke the New York State record. I deadlift like 489, and I was like 160 something pounds and stuff like that. Yeah, so I just kept going with it. Yep.
Wow. And then how far did you go with it? Because I mean, you broke records. Like, what was the span of your powerlifting?
The farthest I went is I broke the WNPF world record in 1993 in Atlanta. It was a sponsored trip. I got paid to go down there.
Wow.
And I broke the I was 20 or 21, and I deadlift 650. I deadlift 650 for the junior record. And yeah.
And what was your weight? What was your body weight?
Back then I was close to probably about 189, 190.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow. So let's add record breaker to that.
Yeah, we forgot another title. Another title, record breaker.
Adding up there. I enjoyed powerlifting. It was a good foundation, but as I got older, I learned that I couldn't do it as much because of the risk of injury and stuff like that. Yep.
Do you kind of, because I know some of the most impressive lifts I've seen were powerlifting lifts as well as Olympic lifting lifts. But I feel like both of those sports, you're not, like in powerlifting, you're not getting away from deadlifting, benching, and squatting, if that's what it is. Mm-hmm. It's like the Olympic lifting where it's clean and jerk and snatch, and you're really putting your body under some stress. So I know what you mean where you say, like, as you get older, you either can do those lifts, you're either willing to do those lifts and risk a bit of injury, or you're pulling back and focusing more on like hypertrophy work. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And I give the guys that do Olympic lifting, I give them much respect. That's a lot harder. And it takes technique to do that. So I remember the guys used to do it at Steel Mill, John. And I was impressed when I watched them one day. And I give them guys a lot of respect. That's a tough sport. Yeah.
And you're right. It's not even it is strength, but there's so much technique with Olympic lifting. But that was a cool thing back then, is you had your groups of people that did different disciplines, and it all was impressive. It all was cool to watch, you know?
Exactly. Right.
So is there anyone in the powerlifting field back then that you looked up to or inspired you back then? Or was it basically just like your teacher?
Probably, the people that inspired me probably was the Jackson brothers. It was Andre Jackson. I don't know if people are familiar with them. Andre Jackson, Kevin Jackson, and Lawrence Jackson. Them boys were strong. And Chuck Previtieri. I don't know if you.
Yeah, I know Chuck.
Yes, yes, he was the man back then. So those probably was the man. And Paul Childers. I cannot forget Paul. Yeah. So those are the ones I really respect a lot. You know, they were impressive. Yep.
So at what age what was your age span of powerlifting? Was it like 17 to?
I did powerlifting probably from 18 to 41 or 42.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. Yeah, then I stopped. Then I got into running. Then I got into physique and stuff like that. As we go along, I can tell you about it if you want. Yep.
Yeah, and then Al, when did you actually? Because I mean, I know you've had so many accomplishments, but there's a personal training side to this too. When did you get into personal training?
I got into, I'll tell you a funny story how that happened. Well, I started at ECC. I went to ECC. Actually, let me take it back. Actually, I was doing kind of personal training at Spencer's Gym. I don't know if you're familiar with Spencer's Gym.
Heard of it, never been there.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I managed that gym. I started managing that gym when I was 21 years old.
Wow.
All the way until I was like 23 or 24. And my boss told me, he told me, he was like, you can't do this your whole life. This is a small gym. So you got to go on, go to school or whatever. So he talked me into going to college, and I started at ECC for recreational management. Then when I finished that degree, my counselor asked me, she asked me what I want to do. So in my head, I'm thinking about money. Oh, I want to do computers. I want to do this. And she told me, and I never forgot, she told me, she said, go to school for something that your heart is into.
Yep.
And that's when I went for health and wellness. And that's when I got into personal training. Yep.
And then what age was that around now when you started doing that?
I got certified in 1998.
Yeah, because I remember being at the JCC with you and just seeing all your certs on the wall. You
Yeah.
had so many.
Yep, 1998 I started. Yep.
And then what gym did you start? Like when you were certified, were you working at a specific gym? Were you still at Spence's gym or?
No, I was working at the Jewish Community Center.
Oh, okay.
JCC, and at Allentown Athletics.
Mm.
Yep, and Personal Best. I did a few clients at Personal Best. Patrick, I don't know if you remember Patrick Hall. That's when he was the owner of it. Yep.
Beth, you know Pat Hall? He owns a Hybrid Ninja.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I trained a few clients there, once in a while.
Yep.
I
remember that gym. I remember, actually, it's funny. I seen Pat not too long ago, and we were talking about, it was funny because he's seen my kids, and he's like, your dad, he was so strong. I'm like, Pat, listen, you were the only one doing bodybuilding when we were 18, dude. You were jacked. You don't have to make me feel good because I brought my kids here. Like, I remember you posing,
right.
Like you were jacked.
I give him a lot of respect, man. That guy, he's awesome. Yep.
Yeah, he's another one too, though. A lot of accomplishments as well. Buffalo Ninja or Ninja Warrior.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Yeah, that's awesome. So you've been at the Jewish Community Center quite a while then.
This year May will be 23 years I worked at the Jewish Community Center.
Wow.
Yep. I have some clients I had for 21 years. 20 years.
Wow.
That is amazing.
Yes. Yep. Yeah. And a lot of my older and seniors, and that's it. And they basically, with them, they basically want you to keep them moving.
Accountability. Absolutely.
Exactly. Accountability. That's the biggest thing about personal training that a lot of trainers don't understand. It's about accountability.
Mm-hmm.
And you make that relationship and that bond, and then they trust you, and they can see the results, and it creates such positivity. And that I'm telling you, that bond between trainer and client is it's something that people don't understand until they've either been on one side or the other of it.
Exactly. Yep. She hit it right on the nose.
Mm-hmm.
Some people, I think, they have a fear of, working with a trainer because somebody, oh my gosh, they're going to judge me. They're going to tell me all these things that I cannot do. And it's so not like that. But don't get me wrong. There's sometimes you have to have those coming to Jesus talks where it's like, I had to have it with myself, with that peanut butter, because I have issues with peanut butter really bad. So, I had those conversations with myself, but I think clients need to really build that relationship with their trainer. So that's really impressive to hear that you've had those clients that long. That's really awesome.
Yeah, that's really, really, really cool. And then after that, so then you're powerlifting, you're certified, you're working in gyms. And then when did you start getting into physique?
Well, my cousin Huey.
I remember Huey, yeah.
So this is crazy. He came to me, his father came to me and said, Huey wants to do a bodybuilding show, a competition. So I was like, oh my God. So I helped prep them because I did teenage bodybuilding and I did the K&M, which I'm thinking about doing it this year, but I'm not going to put it out there yet.
Wait a minute. This podcast exclusive. That's an exclusive. That's an exclusive.
Yes. But he asked me to get him ready for the show. So I got him ready for the UFE competition. And it just inspired me. And I helped get him ready for it. And he won 3 world championships with the UFE. I think it was 2 or 3 world championships. And won money and everything. And ever since then, I was like, you know what? I can try this. I can try that. So I went to talk to Rick Premiano. And the guy was amazing. He got me started with it. And ever since then, I've been working with him. Yep. Off and on. Yep.
And then how many shows? Because you did a bunch of shows as well, right?
Yep. I got 3 or 4 pro cards. And I did the NPC Nationals for men's physique. I think it was 2000. I can't even remember, 2017 or 2018. And it was funny because I did that show. And this is something I tell you guys that's doing physique. Please get a posing coach. Please get a posing coach. And what happened was I placed in the top 5, but what screwed me was the posing. I went posing up there like a bodybuilder. And the judge told me, he said, if you would have did your posing correctly, you would have been getting that pro card. So but it was a fun experience. And I competed at the Arnold the Arnold Amateur too.
Ooh, how was that? Because that's a much bigger stage. Because that's a big stage. It
felt good to be on the same stage that Flex Wheeler and all these guys have stepped on. I mean, not at the same competition, but the same stage. And it was a great experience. It was just something I wanted to do and say I did it.
Right.
Yeah.
And I was up there with Al Dunn.
Al, yeah.
Oh, that guy he's phenomenal.
Oh, he's great.
Al Dunn and I forgot the other guy, but we had a ball up there. Yep.
And that's one thing too, with all the competing that I've done, I've always had, for the most part, I've always had positive experiences. Yeah. I think that's the one thing you do miss. Like, it is the competing, but to me, a lot of it is backstage, talking with people, smelling the Protan. Like, if I smell Protan, it brings back memories to this day. Right. I'm just like, man, that was a good time. You know what I mean?
Yes, but the competition world, it can be very tough. I mean, it's tough. It's tough. Yeah. You got to have thick skin, and you got to be able to accept criticism. And that was something I had to learn to do. If you're gonna compete, you got to be able to accept criticism, and that's pretty tough for some people, because you have 5 judges judging you. So you know how that is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's really tough. Yep.
And I've always looked at the judges, because I've judged, and you've judged before too, Al, right? You've judged.
Yes, I judged.
I've always looked at judges as giving you the cheat code to what you need to work on, and then you can go home and incorporate programming. And as I said, it's never. I'm never when I'm giving competitors advice on their scoring or what happened. It's never coming from a mean place. It's coming from, hey, just work on these things, just bring this up or work on this, and next time you're going to do better.
Also, you on your show, that really inspired me. When you got your pro card with
the defect show,
I was like, whoa, this guy killed it. Yeah.
You know what Eugene told me as soon as I walked backstage?
What?
Your posing almost lost you. You almost lost because of posing.
I remember you talking about posing before we had this chat with Megan.
Very important.
pose, yeah, and I remember it was hilarious because I was working with Dave Wells on posing, and I'd be at Steel Mill working with him, and it's almost like
killer with the posing.
He is so
Dave
good
Wells,
with posing.
Oh my God, he's amazing with posing. Amazing.
It was like watching the movie Save the Last Dance with him trying to teach me posing. I just could not get certain things, you know. And I could see Dave.
Honestly, I kid you not. I think he's one of the best posers I've ever seen.
He reminds me of he's very smooth with his transitions, and but his transitions and movements are also very slow but on point. So it's not hard posing. It's smooth. But you're right. I think his posing is ridiculous. Yeah, he is so good and just well built too as well. Very symmetrical. Reminds me of a throwback bodybuilder almost.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know? Wow. Yeah. Man, them shows were fun. Did you end up going to Miami, Al?
No, I was invited, but
I remember you getting invited
at that time. Yeah, I was invited twice to go, and it was just I was like, no, I can't afford it right now. It was just the time that they gave the show. I think it was kind of a bad time for me. Gotcha. I'm not gonna say for everybody else. It was just a tough time.
Yeah. Yep. It was when I was there, it was a pretty cool experience because everybody was. It was the whole environment was nice because everybody was just willing to talk, and like even people you didn't know would say hi to you and just talk to you about things, and it was a really nice experience. So since you're going to be competing in the Can-Man again, and we already broke that on this podcast.
Oh, no. I said I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about it, yeah.
So you're competing in physique competitions, and then you start taking up running. What piqued your interest in that?
Running, I got into running probably 2006. And I started that, I think I got motivated through a few runners at the JCC. And I did probably about 16 to 17 half marathons already. And probably over 200 5Ks.
Yeah, I told you, Beth. I told you. When I put Mr. Motivation, I wasn't.
Yes. Yeah. So
I have ran for 10 seconds on my treadmill. Maybe 10. Maybe. And then I had to jump off and split the feet on the side. I was like, that's enough. That's enough right there.
And
People that run are so impressive to me.
I know.
So impressive.
I do it more because of the therapy. It just helps me, you know. Yeah.
Yeah. I can see that.
Say that actually about running.
Mm-hmm.
Just therapeutic, and you can just shut your brain off and just go.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. I know when I just go out, I walk on my treadmill, but even like just getting out, I have that. Like actually, my son is into running, and I'm like, Dad, you want to go run? I'm like, I'm a bodybuilder. I walk.
Yes. Same. No.
Right.
But I want to get into it because it's like almost my son does it, and he wants to do a couple 5Ks. He's only like 10, you know what I mean? But he's really into that. And I thought of you. I'm like, man, I'd love to pick Al's brain, how he manages.
Believe it or not, it's good for the off season. Like if you're trying to really keep your weight down some, I mean, you don't have to go extreme to like many people think I run like every day. And I only run like probably 2 or 3 times a week now. So
I got you.
Yeah. So
bare minimum, Mal.
Yeah. I don't do it every day. Yep.
And so was it, you said it was a couple of friends at the JCC that piqued your interest in running?
Yes. Yep.
And favorite race you've done so far? It doesn't even have to be in New York. Your favorite race you've ever done?
My favorite, Toronto half marathon.
Yeah.
And what was great about that? Tell me a little bit about it, because I'm not.
The whole city gets involved. The whole city. I mean, you feel like a star up there. The whole city gets involved with the Toronto half marathon. I recommend.
They probably saw some of your commercials and knew it was you.
I mean, because we had our names on our bibs, and people was, on the side, go Al, go Al. It's like, I've never seen this person before. So it's
very motivating.
Yeah, so like if you go up there and you have Beth on your bib, they'd be like, "Go Beth, go!"
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Somebody dragging me along.
Yeah.
That's neat.
Yeah.
That's really cool. I know we were my son and I were looking at races because Sue, Sue, I call it Super Sue. She runs a ton too. And we were looking at some races to get my son in. It was awesome. He was like, well, I got to run. I'm like, all right. And then I'm showing him like some of these races. I'm like, oh, hey, this is like the chocolate run. He's like, what's that? I'm like, well, afterwards you eat chocolate. He's like, well, let's do that one. And I'm like, because you forget all these races have so many events to it. Yeah. The only one he wouldn't do was the graveyard run. He's like, I ain't doing that. I ain't doing that.
Yes.
So when you're training for all these different disciplines, powerlifting, running, physique competition, how does the training change for each, and how does the nutrition change for each? Did you have to take a different approach for each, like with powerlifting? And
I give you an example. If I was to do a physique competition, I would tone the running down. I would do it. I wouldn't do real long distance. And your nutrition got, like, I was vegan for 2.5 years.
Really?
But I was vegan.
We got to talk about that too, Al.
But I just recently went back to pescatarian. Well, now I'm eating meat too, but I just needed more protein in my.
Can you give people the difference between the two, vegan and pescatarian?
Okay,
can you give people
vegan
the difference?
is you're not eating no meat or no dairy. True vegans, they don't even buy leather furniture or leather anything. Those are true vegans.
Right.
No
animal products at all. Yeah.
Pescatarians, you can eat fish and eggs. And right now, I'm neither one of them. You know, I basically just balance everything out right now. So yeah.
So how are you eating? Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I would say, how are you eating during your powerlifting days?
Oh, I was eating everything in sight. With the physique and the running, well, I'll say physique is. It's bodybuilding. To me, I think you need a balance of everything. You need, like, I hear some guys, they say they do like 20 grams of carbs. I was like, ain't no way in the world I can only do 20 grams of carbs a day or 50 grams of carbs. No. I cannot do it. I cannot do it. I think each protein, carbs, fats, you need all of them.
Mm-hmm.
You need all of them. And you know, that's my opinion. Yeah. And I'm like the flexible diet. I'm a big fan of that. But I would say just eat healthy and just balance everything out. It's a time,
I like saying, like, I use flexible nutrition, but I also don't eat like a 5-year-old on Halloween. Like,
exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yes, exactly. But when it comes like closer to the show, then you kind of like change things up a little bit more. Like 6 weeks before the show, then, you know, you get into a point that, you know, you're not just eating normal. So, yeah.
You definitely have an eating for sport during prep, you know?
Yeah.
Now, when you were vegan, were you competing in physique competition then?
When I was vegan, actually, no, that's a good question. No, I was running. And that's when I did the, actually, I became vegan before I did the 2019 Toronto Half Marathon. I did the Toronto Half Marathon twice. And I just decided to become vegan. I was like, let me try this. And I did it all the way until probably last August. And it's challenging. It's challenging. It's very challenging. But that protein, you need that protein. I'm telling you, for recovery, you need it. Yeah.
What were your primary sources of protein when you were vegan?
I would get I was scared of the soy. I was very scared of, hearing different things about soy protein, but I'm not going to get into that because I don't want nobody judging me. But,
we all are allowed our opinions, Al.
Yes.
I don't want to get into that. Yours.
But I ate beans and rice. I ate beans and rice like crazy. And I had the vegan burgers, but I wasn't a big fan of the Impossible Burger. I think honestly, it can be just as bad as eating a regular burger. Seriously, with all the stuff they put in the Impossible Burger, with the chemicals and everything else. So, yeah.
I attempted the vegan. I only got as far as ordering things in my grocery cart and bringing it home, and then it sat in my refrigerator in my cabinet, and I never. I was like, you know what? Because I wanted to be able to try it so that I could understand it for clients. And I feel like it is something that I still want to challenge myself to do, because I have never done it. And I do feel like it's important to be able to know what it takes, what it's like, and how to manipulate it.
Right.
So
Yes.
you're motivating me.
And the reason why I stopped being vegan, because I'm very, very active. I lift probably 6 days a week. And probably, like I said, I run about 2 or 3 days a week, but I'm always doing something. And I'm training clients 6 or 7 days a week. So I need that protein and I need that energy. So I was like, I can't keep doing this. So that was the reason why too. Yeah.
Yeah, and a while ago, a long time ago, I've done paleo, I've done primal, I've done a bunch of different diets. You know how we all grew up. You just have these things you tried. And I do think trying them isn't bad, because I do think there are some pros to learn from them. Like when I was doing paleo or primal and stuff like that, it just was a lot. What I've taken away from all of it is food quality, the quality of food. You know, they cut this out and never eat it. And then it's like, okay, well, how about if I just have it once in a while? Do you get what I'm saying? And you kind of learn like, oh, these foods are actually really good for you. They're higher nutrient dense. They're not garbage. I have a nice 80-20 split amongst my calories. I can sustain this long term, because that's what we always talk about too, Beth and I, is there's one thing with weight loss, but then there's weight loss sustainability. Can you sustain that weight loss you've lost for long term? And anything too restrictive for people may be tough. Some people are able to do it. Totally cool. It may be tough for some people. We want to give people the greatest chance to keep that weight off. But yeah, I definitely think a lot of it comes down to high quality foods. And then, then what other principles you want to put in, you totally can. Absolutely.
Exactly.
That's really interesting. So when you were vegan, so then you transitioned when you started incorporating more resistance training and life just got busy?
Exactly. You hit it right on the nose. Yep. You hit it right on the nose. Yeah. And lifting, I'm telling you, lifting is so important. It's so important. Like, I know some runners out there that don't lift, and I was like, I don't see how you guys do it. Because it helps prevent injury. And I would definitely recommend runners do some strength training. It's
Absolutely.
very important. And recently, it's funny because recently I just went to the doctor. I was like this BMI fanatic. I was like, I want to stay on my BMI. And my doctor was like, try to hold on to much muscle as possible for my age. And I really took that in. I was like, you know what? She's right. So, yeah.
Because it's true. If you don't use it, you lose it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Exactly. And I really think too, even with runners, distance runners as well, the concept of weight training wasn't something that you thought about 15 years ago, but now it's like, no, there's a big benefit to that.
And the thing is, I think powerlifting, believe it or not, cross my fingers. I've been in this game I've been doing all of this for over 30 years. Never had a major injury and never had a surgery. Really? Never. Yes, never.
That's impressive.
Never. And I think it comes from lifting.
Oh, I agree with you there.
I think it comes from lifting. Yeah.
And being smart too. I also think the way
Staying
we kind
in your lane.
Yes, I like that. Yeah.
Stay in your lane. Don't try to be this person. Don't try to compete against that person. Just stay in your lane and go at your own flow. Yeah.
And it's kind of funny you say that, because I love training in gyms, but I train at home. And when I train at home, I'm way more in my own lane. Because I have my volume set, my rep scheme set. I'm done. I walk out. You know what I mean? Even though I miss it, it's like that's the one benefit, is like I know what I have to complete when I go in. I have my program. I do what I need to do and get out. That's so true. And the way we've trained years ago compared to the way we train now, just in the evolution of fitness itself has changed. You know what I mean? You can't go in and heavy bench every week. But back in the day, it was like, what do you bench? It's like, man, with my shoulders, nothing. Like I'm trying to just work on mobility, get a good chest pump, and get out of there,
And that's the funny thing. I think right now the fitness industry has changed. It changed tremendously. And I think it's because of the social media. I was just talking to somebody about this. And I like the fitness, like the bodybuilding shows and everything. I remember when I went to the Mr. Buffalo, it was funny. and I went to the Mr. Buffalo, not competing, but when it was at UB, and it was sold out. I mean, we was actually standing up. And I think the reason why you're seeing less people at the competitions now is because of the social media. Because I remember to see somebody on stage, you would have to wait to see them for 12 weeks or 9 weeks. Now everybody's posting every day. So it's not like a big of excitement to see the competitors like we used to do. Like we used to do. So I think that's probably, I feel bad for a lot of these promoters because that's who they're competing against. They're not competing against each other. They're competing against the social media. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, it's very true.
They're competing against the social media, and I feel bad for these promoters. And it's just, to me, I think it should be a clause. If you're going to do a show, don't post no pictures on the social media. As soon as you fill out that, don't let people get excited to see you. And
I would love to see that because I remember because we were definitely in it long enough to where we seen the peak and then the decline.
Yes.
Yeah. And I remember, funny story, it was social media wasn't big. It's when Aaron Newman won the Buffalo.
Oh, that's my boy. Yeah.
Aaron, always super cool guy. And he came to Steel Mill one day and we were all Facebook friends, but he didn't know who I was. And he walked down and I knew because I followed bodybuilding because, I would talk to everybody. You know what I mean? Like I just, I love the sport. And he walked down, I'm like, Aaron Newman. He's like, hey, I'm like, yeah, this is that awkward moment when you're Facebook friends, you don't really know the person. And he started laughing. Yeah. I'm like, what's up? I'm like, great job. But that's when he won. And I feel like that era then just peaked.
Yeah.
And then from there, it was just a decline.
Yeah.
Because Beth, you would go to a show, Beth, like if you went to a show, Beth, like the Can-Am, remember how many figure competitors there used to be out? The figure competitors would be off the stage. There'd be so many.
Yes.
Remember that? It was crazy. Like,
because now, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say the social media though now is because a lot of people don't do it.
The biggest mistake is that I ain't gonna say it's a mistake, but everybody's promoting themselves on the social media.
Yeah.
So it's not such a thrill no more like it used to be. Yeah. But hopefully we'll get back to that.
It may.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like, especially because yes, everything is shut down now. We're closing so many gyms, due to COVID. But I feel like there is this underlying, the underworld that's really starting to use exercise again for mental health repair and mental health rebuilding. And I'm hoping that we see this uprise and they start to come back again. Where how can we, promote ourselves or how can we find that happy medium to bring it back to life again, to bring it back to what it was? Or because I'm telling you, mental health right now is such a big concern.
Yes. Look at that. What's the football player? Antonio Brown. Look at that situation.
Yeah. Mental health.
It's tough.
And I think so many people too have built home gyms because of the fear of shutdowns because you took away, and again, it's but you took away people's de-stressor at the gym. When the gyms were shut down, it's like, now I think people at least say, hey, man, I'm going to pick up an adjustable bench and some adjustable dumbbells. And if anything happens, I know I can go to my garage or go to my basement. And because I think when you're younger, you lift for physique and to impress. As you age, you understand it's muscle preservation and de-stressing. And then the physique changes as well.
Right.
It's so true.
It's so true. You're right.
I look back to the 20-year-old me versus today. Absolutely.
You're absolutely right. Yes. And the older you get, the smarter you get about it.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah, somebody asked me what I benched not too long ago, and I'm just like, I can't even tell you.
I can do dumbbells.
So
sometimes it's sad because I feel like as people believe as we get older, we shouldn't be doing these type of things. You shouldn't be lifting weights. And it's so not true.
Exactly.
Like you said, stay in your lane, do what is best for your body. You knew okay, well, I can't be powerlifting anymore because I'm just playing it smart. I'm doing what my body does best and I know what to do. So I feel like some people, as they get older, they believe that, I could never go and work out. I can't lift weights.
Right.
Yes, you can. You just have to find what works.
And what's so funny is the years that I stopped, the years that, because I remember the red brick competition. I think I benched like 465 raw in the bench press. And I remember when I stopped, and I knew, I was like, you know, and I was at my peak, and I was like, it's time to stop. It's time to stop. You know, people was like, why are you going to stop? Why are you going to stop powerlifting? Why you want? And the number one thing they say, why do you want to get small? And I'm like, guys, you don't understand. I can't keep doing this.
Yeah.
I can't keep doing this. Yes.
Why do you want to get small? That's so funny.
Yeah. That's the number one. Why do you want to get small? Yeah.
Did you hear that so much? I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, you hear it so much. Yeah.
That's awesome. So let's jump into here then. How did you get into acting? Because you are an actor.
Actually, I started off, I'm not a professional actor, but I started off with Try's Pete Johnson. And you know Pete? Yes. Oh my God.
Yeah, awesome.
He's phenomenal.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Well, he got me hooked up with the HBO they were going to do it was a guy, Norman Toy. He was trying to do a pilot.
Talking HBO now?
Well, no, this was
it
was a pilot that was shot at Spot Coffee, and they would
really
sell it to HBO.
Gotcha.
And I actually had a part in it.
Was this a while ago?
Yeah, this was a while ago, but I don't know what happened. I guess HBO didn't want it or whatever. But that's when I first got into it. Then the guy that made Queen City, Peter McGinnis, he's the guy that got me into the Celino and Barnes commercial.
Awesome.
Yeah, and I don't know if you remember when Vivica Fox shot a movie here.
A while ago. Yeah. I remember that.
I was extra in that. And that's, and then I did something for Roswell Hospital when the Olympics were going on. And and I got into a play. The guy asked me to get into a community play, and I did that, and it was so fun though. It was funny.
They are fun. Yeah.
But it's something I don't know. I don't know. The acting thing is just, I don't know.
It's a different art. Like I do feel that, you know, like, you know, the physique training, and it's an art. It's an art. Bodybuilding, it's an art. So to me, it was just like, you're just exploring all these different versions of art. I mean, you're a presenter when you're on stage, when either it be for physique, bodybuilding, acting, like it's all part of the stage. And, you know, it's just an art. You're using your body, your mind, all of it all together.
My funnest, I think my favorite thing is running though. That's probably my favorite, is the running. Yeah.
Now, were you doing photography for a while as well?
I do it on my own. I call it iPhone photography. No, but I do have a professional. I do have a professional camera though. I'm just good at that. Yes.
You know what's really cool though is, and like I had to go through this myself, is finding hobbies outside of your work.
Yes.
And it's just it's so good for you mentally too. I always say there's certain things I like to do where I don't have to think about a carb, a press, or I'm totally somewhere else. Yeah. It's so refreshing. And that takes a while to develop that skill set to be able to unplug and go do something else and immerse yourself in something else. But mentally, you know, that's awesome. You have so many things going on. That's so cool.
Yes.
Well, I think there's a lot of people that are afraid to do that for themselves.
I agree.
To let them have that solitude time, that alone time. It doesn't even have to be alone. It can be with others, but just it's so important to be able to do things for yourself.
Yep.
Like you said, Brian, away from your job,
unplug.
Yep.
Yeah. That's really important. So now that we kind of broke the news about the Can-Am, what are oh, that's gonna be sound bites. We got sound bites. What are your future plans in any discipline? Like what are some goals you have for 2022?
I definitely want to get back on stage, but I want to do it at my own pace. I'm not trying to be
That's key.
I'm not trying to be the best in Buffalo, or you know. And I'm gonna tell you something so funny that I noticed. Anytime a show comes up, I get a lot of friend requests, and I don't know why. Like last year, when the Buffalo was in August, all of a sudden I started getting requests. Then I was like, who's these people requesting me? Then I realized they try to figure out if I'm doing the show. That's what it is.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's why
do I have some competition?
They do that. It's so funny.
Pace. Yeah, they do that. Yeah. Just to see if you're doing their show, because you become their competition. So they want to see what you're doing. Yeah.
And that's why I always tell people too, when it comes to shows, is if you're going to plan, give yourself enough time, and don't be obsessed about a date.
Right. Yeah, I agree with you on that.
Give yourself enough time. You know what I mean? Let the show pick you. Let the category pick you. You know what I mean? Have a good team around you that can help you out and be honest with you. You know what I mean? When it comes to things like that. Yeah. So how about that? Go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead. The thing about, I'm currently an OCB pro, but the thing is they have a lot of restrictions as far as who you can compete with. So that's why I was like, I don't know if they will allow me to do it. If they allow me to do it, I'll do it. But I just got to figure out what direction to go. And personally, I think I need to hire me a coach or somebody tell me, you know what? Okay, Al, we're going to do this instead, instead of doing that. So I'm still trying to figure out what I'm going to do, honestly. Yeah.
And how about in other areas, as far as acting, as far as training, just as far as anything else?
Basically sticking to training. One thing about me is I'm very content. I'm very happy at where I'm at now in life. And I'm not saying I don't want to climb higher, but I learned to be content with myself. And I enjoy what I do right now. And
that's powerful.
Yes.
It's really powerful.
I can go to work every day, train my clients, go run, and I'm very content. I'm a very content person. Yep.
That's all. He's one of the most. I like Al so much. He's such a humble dude. Yeah. You know what I mean? He could rattle off. You know what I mean? I get a high score in a Madden game, and I'm telling people I got a high score in Madden. I don't know if you guys know this. He's just never. He's so humble. He's so great to talk to.
Rest in peace to John Madden.
Rest in peace to John Madden.
Yes. Yep.
And for people working out, starting to work out, what piece of advice would you give them? Because we know the gyms are packed.
I would say the biggest mistake I see, what happens with New Year's resolution people, they go hard in the beginning. They go hard. I mean, I've seen people come in the gym, and the first day of the year, they're in there for 2 hours. An hour and a half. I would say get to enjoy what you're doing first. Because if you're going hard, I guarantee if you're going hard for 2 or 3 weeks, I guarantee you're going to get burnt out. Then all of a sudden, you're going to start slacking. So I would say enjoy what you're doing and get to love yourself as you are now. You understand what I'm saying? And that helps you improve. There's so many people that's very hard on themselves. And I used to be one of those people. Very hard on. Love yourself and love the skin that you are in now. And the improvements will come. That's my suggestion. Yeah.
That's really powerful, because you just nailed it. It's mentally and physically becoming fit.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yep.
Because if you're not there mentally, no matter how fit you get, you're not going to be there. You get what I'm saying?
Exactly. Yep.
If you can develop both areas and love yourself.
Yeah, and like Beth said, a big thing that we have to work on is mental illness. Believe it or not, many of us fight with it. I fight with it. Trust me. Mental illness is a big thing and I think it has a lot to do with the social media, because many people paint a perfect picture on the social media. And you know what? And I'm not saying that they're wrong about it, but what it is many people don't want to show their bad side on the social media. Maybe they want to keep that private, but everybody that looks at the social media assumes that you have a perfect life. You understand what I'm saying? So that's the thing too. Yep.
Beth and I talk about breaking the fourth wall with clients, because too many clients, I think people are afraid to talk to trainers sometimes because they believe the trainers are perfect. They don't mess up. You have to be super disciplined. You don't enjoy this. You know what I mean? When in all actuality,
it's funny. Somebody asked me the other day, "L, you eat cookies?" I was like, any trader that tells you they don't eat cookies and cakes, they lying to you.
Yeah, walk away. They're not real.
Yeah.
They're not
Yeah.
real. They're not real.
I said, yes. I said, I just know how to do it.
Exactly.
And some people think I like eat like strict all the time. Like I eat no sugar or I drink no alcohol. And
Yeah.
I said, I just know how to do it. You know?
I'll even talk to clients about like every once in a while, I may just run into like, I may binge one day and I'm like, dang, man, the big thing I don't do is I don't beat myself up over it.
Exactly.
It's over, it's done with, you move on. If anything, try to identify why it happened.
And a big thing is learning to control yourself. Learning, enjoy yourself, have it balanced, but learn to control yourself. That's it. You know?
Yeah. And that's great advice. Like we just were talking about the past couple minutes. That's great advice for people in the gym.
Right.
Don't worry about being so restrictive. Ease yourself in. Don't beat yourself up. Be kind to yourself. Don't turn molehills into mountains, and ease into your training. Rome wasn't built in a day. You don't have to go in there for, you ain't gonna want to come back. You go in there too long.
And one thing is not to compare yourself with others. And that's how the social media plays a part, especially on the young people.
Oh, I agree.
They always compare themselves to somebody else because a lot of stuff you see on the social media, filters and it drives me nuts. It's just, you see a lot of fake stuff on the social media too. Yeah,
I agree.
I love my filters, Al. I'm not gonna lie. I don't want to.
I have no problem with it. I have no problem with it. But some people get obsessive with it.
Right.
You know?
Yes, it is. Yep.
Yeah.
It is true. I think a lot. It's social media has turned into, I compare it to being on vacation. When you go on vacation, you post a lot of pictures. Like, oh, look at when you come to somebody's house, it's like, oh, look, there's a picture of us in Florida and we were great. It isn't, hey, look, there's a picture of me binging on 17 Oreos. Like nobody shows that part of it.
Yeah.
Like, you only show the highlights.
Yes. Yeah. And like I said, with the social media, it's just, people don't want to, they don't want to show their bad side, so
their struggles.
That's understandable.
Which is actually,
it's their struggles.
If they show their struggles, they're actually more relatable.
Right. Exactly.
You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
you got a good point about that.
Yeah, because you want to be able to relate with someone, and if it's when you hear something, you're like, I go through that too. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
So one last one, Al, and I remember the T-shirts, so I love the motivational. He was selling T-shirts, motivation on the rise. I thought they were the coolest.
Oh, them things went so fast.
They went so fast.
They went quick. Everybody asked me, when you going to come out of it? I said, that was just something I tried. Yeah.
Flash sales. How do you stay motivated? Like how do you stay motivated? Because I mean, we already talked a bit about this a little earlier when you're talking about how you're content.
How do I stay motivated? I thank my clients. It's my clients. My clients motivated me, my job. I mean, guys like you that's putting a, message out about health and wellness. And I just think that's what motivates me. That's what motivates me just to keep going. And the number one thing is, like I told you before, staying in my own lane.
I like that.
And many people have a problem with doing that. Stay in your own lane. And I think when you do that, and also like Beth said, definitely with the mental, mental illness and stuff, focus on that too. So, yep.
Yeah, and it's again, I think people, when you stay in your own lane,
mental health, not mental illness, mental health. Yeah, mental health. That's what I meant to say, mental health. Yeah, not working on mental health leads to mental illness.
Right, right.
Yep.
I agree, and that's so important. That's so important. You're just working on the best you can be, the best version of yourself, and then when you stay in your own lane, you know what I mean? The best you can be. You don't have to try to be better than anybody else. Just stay in your own lane. Work on what you need to work on.
You see so much of that.
Absolutely. Man, that was awesome. We could talk for hours. Man. This is really, really good today. This is really good. So let me see. Oh, wait, Beth, you had a question. Didn't you have a question?
Yes. So talking about food. Food is one of our favorite things around here. So I want to know, what is your go-to treat food?
Go to what?
Treat food.
Treat food?
Treat food or cheat meal?
Oh.
Or cheat meal. Yep, that treat meal or that treat food. What's your go-to? If you're gonna go for it, what are you going for?
Favorite cheat meal. That's a good question. You know what? I like ABVs. A lot of people know I like ABVs.
What's that?
And that's a restaurant in Buffalo.
Okay.
A burger spot in Buffalo on Allen Street.
Oh, a
Yeah,
burger
so I
spot.
probably
All
like
right.
burger and fries. That's probably
Burgers,
my-
fries,
Burger and
go-to.
fries. Yeah.
regular burgers. Yeah. You gotta go there. Go to ABVs. You'll love it.
I'm gonna jot that down.
Yes.
I know, right?
Yes, on Allen Street. Yep. Yep.
All
And I love fries. Yeah. Probably fries is my weakness.
Do
Yeah.
they do specialty fries?
Oh yeah. They got some good burgers there. Yep. Yep.
Oh, we have to try that out. We're gonna have to
Yeah.
try that out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell them actor, powerlifter, runner, motivator Al Lewis sent me in to get a burger.
Yep.
Record breaker.
Yeah.
Right. Yep.
Yeah. Well, myself and Beth would like to thank you so much for joining us today, Al. It was an absolute pleasure having you on, man. I'm so happy we had the chance to catch up. How can people get a hold of you? Or where can they find you on social media?
You can reach me on Facebook, and also you can reach me at Motivation on the Rise. Motivation on the Rise on Instagram, and you can add me there. Yep.
And make sure you guys out there give Al a follow. He's a huge motivator.
Yeah.
I like following him. Makes me feel lazy sometimes. I'm like, oh, I better get up and do something. Al's running. Let me get up and do something.
Right. Yeah.
But we want to thank you so much for joining you. And man, we definitely got to do this again in the future once you finish competing at the Can-Am.
Oh my God, he put the pressure on me now.
Yeah, follow Al's journey.
Yes. Yeah.
So for myself, Beth, and Al, we'd like to thank everybody for listening and watching, and we'll catch you guys next podcast.
All right. Take care. Take care, Brian. Take care, Beth.
Take it easy.